Hi everybody, it's Sunny Bonani. Welcome to my channel. Igama lami nguNtando Mdletshe, and on this channel siyaye sifunde incwadi ezibhalwe ngolimi lwethu lesizulu bese siza la sizokhuluma ngazo le ndaba esuke sifundile, senzela laba phela abasuke bengenaso isikhathi sokuthi bayifunde incwadi nalabo abasuke benqena nje ukufunda. Siyaphinda futhi sibuka ama reality shows ethu alla eMzansi bese siza la sizokhuluma ngawo lama shows, senza ama reviews and or ama recaps bese siyaphinda futhi sikhuluma nga any other issues avukayo uma ngabe lama shows sesiwabukile kwi-TV. Uma ngabe uyaqala ukusijoyina namhlanje and you really like our content, ungakhohlwa ukuthi upress u-subscribe button la ngezansi bese uyaphinda futhi upressa i-notification bell ukuze phela uthole umyalezo uma ngabe umsebenzi omusha sesiwufakile. Guys, today we are talking about our real housewife uLondie London. This is just after we found out ukuthi kunama possibilities ukuthi she was allegedly, you know, we're using all of the words that will keep us away from the courts, allegedly kicked out of the house that she shared with the person that was supposed to be her fiance, I guess, because umuntu mase globally, I guess they are your fiance, and that's what the reports are saying, that she was kicked out of the house. And this follows really her announcement at the reunion that she is going to have her second baby. Listen, it is not clear because Pela, remember, they wrapped the show a while ago, a reunion, they've just done it. So we're not clear, was she kicked off? Like when she was at the reunion, she had already been kicked out of the house, allegedly, or after the reunion, she got kicked out of the house. You know, we are not clear about that, but that's what the reports are saying, you guys. And honestly, I felt like when I heard the news, I felt like Suga, this is not true. And I know good, and for some reason umgosi manje eMzansi nje sesuthatha from this one source all of it, and we just believe ukuthi it's true. I wanted to wait a little bit before ngikhulume ngayo and see ukuthi ayikho any information evelayo ekhombisa ukuthi whatever that was reported was not true, but ayikho enye into esavelile, you guys. Kodwa ke hearing those news, mina, it made me think a lot about a relationship yakhe uLondie London in relation to the Real Housewives, you guys, because honestly they were not married vele mabeza kwi Real Housewives, but it was presented almost as if they are people that we are supposed to think that they were about to get married, they were going to prepare to get married. When they came to the show, they said that she was clear in saying that she had no plans of moving in with her partner. The only reason she did that was because of COVID, you guys. And honestly, for a lot of people, COVID has provided a perfect explanation for a lot of things when it comes to relationship. COVID has been a reason people break up. It's a reason why people decided to co-inhibit. It's a reason why people got back together with their exes, why people divorce. You just say COVID, like financial difficulties, COVID, everything. You just say it's a perfect a reason. It's a perfect excuse for anything that happened in your life between 2020 and 2021. So she used that as well to say that's the reason they moved in together, even though they were not married. Not that there was going to be any issues if she just came and say, listen, I made a decision to move in with my partner, like some of us have done. You know, because she is an adult, she could have done that. But anyway, so when this season of Real Housewives started, in my mind, I thought possibly we are going to see a wedding on this show. If not the wedding, at most we are going to see umembeso or something that has to do with uLondie London moving on the journey of her getting married. That's what I thought, you guys. I thought that's what we're going to see. But then as the show continued, the season continued, we realized that actually Londie's husband or Londie's partner has no intention of being on camera that much. So I wondered, how are they going to work this out? Because for us to follow your storyline of you getting married, we have to get that interaction between you and your partner at some point. And that was something that never happened on the show. I think Londie's partner, we saw him twice on the show, black tie event, and we saw him when it was was he there when it was their child's thing, sip and see, and that was it, you guys. And she doesn't talk about on the show, she doesn't talk about him a lot, you guys. And then it made me feel like, what if during the season there was a lot going on with her relationship, and but what she was able to keep it away from the cameras, because it just wouldn't make sense to me that all of a sudden they wrap up the show, and then everything just goes to to the sea now, after the show, when everything was so perfect and they were preparing to get married. Kodwa-ke vele izinto ey'njalo-ke, guys, if we're being real, they do happen kuma-relationship. Kodwa-ke maningi ama-thoughts enginawo about this particular relationship now that I have this little bit of information. Here is what I'm into engenza ngicabange kahle ukuthi Londie London was so quick to turn on Ulasi when it came to that issue of Mr. Petal, but we were not realizing ukuthi naye uLondie kahle kahle kuyafana nokuthi uno Mr. Petal, but it's like uno Mr. Petal that we have seen, because naye she was in a relationship that is still a mystery, even though we have seen the husband, but it's a mystery because she doesn't say a lot about that relationship, and we don't know what's going on with that relationship. It was like a Petal we can see and a Petal that we cannot see, basically. And I feel like now that I have this information, I feel like there is a possibility that Londie turned on Ulasi so quickly, because for her it was like the pressure here. The show is moving towards the end of the season. They're fighting for a storyline rapper the season up so that the reunion is interesting. If I don't make people focus on this Mr. Petal, they might end up focusing on my Petal, who really exists and who really have real life problems. Because for her, at least with Ulasi, we know there's a possibility because there was never a Petal, but with her we know that he is there. So if there are problems there, it's real problems that exist. And do remember, you guys, that Londie London, when at the reunion, she said something like, we had 2-hour phone calls with you, Lassie. If you go back to that clip, we said we had 2 hours, but everything that we were talking about on that clip was about me. She said it was about me, it was about my life. Because I thought initially when she mentioned it on the show, she was saying it was about Ulasi was telling her lies for like the whole 2 hours on the phone. But she said something like, no, but that was more me telling you about my life. So I do feel, you guys, that Ulasi might have a little bit more knowledge about what was going on with Lassie's relationship, that Ulasi might have information on what was going on with Londie London's relationship, that Londie London felt like, before they discover that I have issues in my relationship, let me just refocus people on this relationship, Lachonco, so that nobody looks this side. If I make people look that way, they won't look this side, because I find it hard to believe that all of the problems that they are said to be having now, they suddenly just are having them, and everything was perfect before. Also, you guys, the thing about it is that when people are coming on Real Housewives, they want to seem like they have a partner and they have a rich partner. And that is a difference, you guys, between the women, for an example, here in Durban, and the women, for an example, in Atlanta or whatever. In Atlanta, like I do the reviews for Atlanta, all women are rich in their own rights. So, and a lot of the times you find that the women are richer than the husbands. But this side, it's almost like women feel the need to have this partner that has a lot of money for them to feel like they can be a housewife and they can be casted as a housewife. So it made me feel like if is it not a possibility that Londie London, for her to be casted for the show? Yes, I do understand they already had a child together, but maybe for her, maybe the relationship was already not working out, but because she wanted to be in that house and in that relationship and to look like she was about to get married, maybe they did make a deal to say, listen, I'm being casted for this show. It's going to look weird when I've just been casted for the show, but I'm not in a relationship. Let's move in together and pretend as if we are about to get married, and let me do this one season of the show. And maybe the husband was like, okay, no, we can do that, but I'm still allowed to go and live my life, whatever. And when you're done with the season, you go back home, or you go back to your place or whatever, because it just seemed like it was waiting. They were waiting for the show to just end for her to be like, move out of the house. And I think because they were in the house together, then they ended up making maybe they ended up making the second baby. And then the husband is like, yeah, I know we made the second baby, but our agreement was that we're not in a relationship. This was just for you to do the show. This is not something I read anywhere, you guys, but I feel like a lot of the times these relationships do get faked for the show. So we have to look at that possibility. Why would just at the end of the season, now your relationship all of a sudden, on top of that, you are pregnant? Like, and also, you guys, if you look, I don't know whether she posts kwamanye social medias. I don't see any photos. Even you go online, go Google Londie London and her husband. There's like maybe 2 photos of her with her husband, Zakdala Futi, with their first child. Like akashuthi naye, even now being pregnant, looking beautiful and whatever, ama-functions lawa ahambayo, no husband, like appearish anyway. It makes you feel like vele these people are not in a relationship, and it makes me question whether the relationship existed during the season. Not to say that the child is not his, it might be his, but because they were in the same house. But did it really, was the relationship what she presented it to be to us? And honestly, now that even if we say the relationship did exist and it was what she was presenting it to be, imagine now, because okay, if she has really been kicked out of the house, she's going through a similar thing that Ulasi went through, you guys, which was you were about to marry this powerful person. You are imagining your life a certain way and your future looking a certain way, and then the next thing, everything is gone. Everything is gone, because even with Ulasi, there are reports that she stayed in this really beautiful house that she had to move out of after the breakup with the former president. And imagine that life, you guys. And maybe that's the reason she's struggling so much to be able to say to people, this is where I live, because it's no longer what it used to be. So thinking about it right now, it's like she's going through a similar thing. Like if she had kept that friendship, if she had nurtured that friendship with Ulasi, this is the person that will probably be able to give her the best advice, because she has gone through it. Wouldn't it be interesting if honestly the reports that she's been kicked out of her house are true? Because that means that she's going through exactly what Ulasi went through. Exactly. That is, if the relationship had been real from the beginning. Can it really be karma when it comes to Londie London, you guys? Does karma just work that day? I thought the karma is like the world goes around. Like it goes around. The world goes around. But I thought it was a karma pela. It's like it goes around. Umuntu mayikwenza intembi ukuthi kuthatha isikhathi eside before behlelo intembi. But then it's like it karma vele yathi, yeah, for the purpose of Londie London, let's just speed up, and it went choo, and then it's like she is exactly in the same position that Ulasi had been in. And isn't that interesting, you guys? I find that to be interesting. I was disappointed, you guys, when that friendship didn't work, because I felt like at the beginning of the season, that was the friendship that to me, it seemed more genuine than any other friendship you know. They were really just getting to know each other. Obviously there were times when they spent time together and they talked, and that was not on camera, so we don't know what happened there. So maybe she is justified, Ulasi, to feel like, no, this friendship was not as genuine as people thought it was, you know. But from just what we saw on the show, it felt like really they were building something genuine. And Ulasi seems like somebody that is loyal. But when she says you are a friend, you are a friend. And I feel like Londie lost a really good friend, Ulasi, and somebody that could have taken their friendships to the next season together has she stuck with uLokhuzana uLassie, because she could still be saying, hey, Mganami, I don't understand this date, but I'm still your friend, rather than betray her the way that she betrayed her. Listen, there's so many possibilities, you guys, when it comes to what's happening with Londie London and her relationship. There is a possibility that vele bebenesvumelwane for the season, season yaphela, and this guy is like, okay, now suwenzile season 1, bona ukuthi wenze njani your storyline for season 2, angisayingena, I'm not gonna be on camera for you again for the next season, let me move on with my life, because vele that's what they agreed on. There's also a possibility that they were in a relationship, but the producers just missed the fact that they were going through stuff when they were shooting the show, and as a result we didn't see that these people were actually on the show the whole season having problems that were not shown to us because the producers didn't dig enough for us to see it. And when the season ended, everything went to blows because the cameras are no longer around, and then that with the pregnancy and everything, it became too much and they had to go their separate ways. We don't know, you guys. But also, you guys, there are possibilities. We have to think about the fact that when we are between seasons, all of the things that happen on social media between seasons, we have to be skeptical when we look at those things, because sometimes they put things out there about themselves. Sometimes they are the source, like the cast member is the source, because they want to keep themselves relevant while the producers are doing casting. So if you are online all the time, whether you have good or bad publicity, but you have publicity, and there's a storyline that they feel like the viewers are going to be interested in, they might call you back for the show. So they might feel like, maybe the producers might feel like, okay, there's something here with Londie London, and that relationship, was it real in season 1? Other cast members are going to have questions about whether this relationship was real in season 1. That makes for a storyline. And maybe now she's moved, because apparently she's not longer even in Durban anymore. She's not in Hillcrest anymore. So there's also the same way that Lachonco, they're having questions about where she lives now. The next season they might have those questions about where Londie London lives, whether she's gonna be hiding where she lives or not. You know, we're gonna see next season. So there is that element as well, that what goes on online we might be seeing the truth, but also we might be seeing things that are exaggerated, things that are made up just so their lives are made to look interesting enough, so that next season they are casted again for the new season. But you guys, I want to know what your theory is on this one. Number one, do you really feel like you believe in Dabaguti she was kicked out of the house? And you guys, when she announced her child's pregnancy, this is what she wrote. She said, God's promises are like the stars. The darker the night, the brighter they shine. His timing is significant. I don't know, guys. It made me suspicious because she says the darker the nights, the brighter they shine. She sounds like she's going through something not as positive, but obviously she views her being pregnant as something really positive. So what is the thing that is not really going okay right now? And it might be the fact that her relationship is not going okay. So it gives you an indication that maybe the rumors that things are not okay with her and her partner are true. we don't know. But I would like to hear from you guys if you believe that it's true. And also, what do you think about the fact that this person has a partner that you never really see any pictures with? Do they meaning as totally online when I'm searching for them? And do you feel like this was a made up storyline? Do you feel like no, it wasn't made up, but now it's made up for the next season? I'm really interested to hear your thoughts, you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like it before niphume kuyona, and share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers. Nginithanda kakhulu.